guys, good morning. It's Tid Bit Tuesday, we're gonna call it. It's gonna be like a little rant or motivation or something I have on my mind that I want to share with people. I usually share this with my husband and my close friends or my family, and mainly my husband. And I thought I'd share it with everyone. It's kind of something I'm working on myself. So today I wanted to talk about something I learned a couple months ago. It might have even been half a year ago, but it's something that I'm constantly working on and that a lot of people don't realize, and I think our society is super affected by it, and it's something that we can all work on individually to make our society better. So what it is, it's talking about the 4 beats, and I think that's what it's known as. And so what it talks about is this: there's a stimulus, and there's an interpretation, a reaction, and an action. Most people, we find, we're like, something happens to us and we react to it. And how we're wired nowadays, we think, oh, well, that's the only way I could have reacted to it. That's just how I reacted to it. And we're entitled to that feeling and to that reaction. And so we excuse a lot of our actions because of that. And I mean, I feel like that's, unfortunately, I think that's just how we were taught and how it's okay, but it's not okay. That's where we have to work on it. But to work on it, we have to realize that it's not the reaction that's the problem. It's actually the interpretation. So something happens to you and you have that quick second interpretation, and then you react to it, and then you act. So everyone's like, oh, well, like I said, they're like, oh, well, that's how I felt. And so I did this, I just said this, and it's, hey man, I couldn't help it. But no, like, we have to work on that interpretation of what happened to us. So for today, for this week, try to rewire your brain so that when you find yourself thinking something negative or something happened to you and you could let it ruin your day, because it usually would, or, you know, anything little like that or big, try to take a second and think, okay, well, what's my interpretation of it? And take a look at that. Take a deeper look at that. Sometimes you'll figure out why it is that you interpret it like that, and you can sort it, change it, or maybe you'll have to slowly change it, or think, okay, well, it happens to me here. I get offended at this. Why? Is it something about me? Is it something about the person? Is it something I need to address with myself? Do I need to address it with the person? Usually you just have to address it with yourself. Usually you have to figure out why it's affecting you so much and why it's putting you in a bad place. And the thing is, nobody else can change that. So this is for you to do. You have to do this. You can change how you react to things. I'm constantly working on this. It's hard because there's some pieces that are like wired in our system that we just react in a certain way, and it's just going to keep happening, and it keeps happening, and we can't seem to stop it. So today, if you can, if anything goes wrong with your day, or there's negative behavior around you or anything like that, and you usually react a certain way, take a second and think about it. And before anything, before you even really address it verbally or physically or anything, just take a look at what caused that reaction and see if you can change it in the future. Even if you already reacted and it's too late, think about for later if you can change that. And just remember, it's all about the interpretation. That's what you have to change. It's not your reaction, because that might just be almost, second nature at this point. Depends on how old you are and where you're at in your life, or I'm not sure, if it might be really hard to change. It might take a long time, but you can change the interpretation. You can do it. You can do it. We're all working on it. If we all work on it, things could be a lot better for each of us individually, as a community, everything. So work on that interpretation today. Take a look at what affects you and why, and dig deeper. So have a happy Tuesday.